Hey guys, so basically I thought I'd make this video to make it a little easier to understand what the problem is, what I'm having here. So basically, I was just watching Netflix and all of a sudden out of nowhere my screen went black, the monitor stayed on, the computer stayed on, but the screen just went black. Obviously I couldn't turn it off from the start menu because I didn't have access to it. Had to turn it off from the manual button, and so basically I turned it back on, booted up, everything was fine. Logged in, couple minutes later, black again. Turned it off, same thing, turned it back on. Since I have Windows 10, I was greeted with the, as I was booting it, I was greeted with the repair this PC, so I was like, okay, something's clearly up. But I just went ahead with the installation, so I reinstalled Windows, basically. 10-20 minutes into reinstalling my drivers, boom, black again. Okay, so at this point I was like, alright, well I'm going to take it apart and see if anything's wrong with it. I just double-checked to make sure everything was plugged in. I switched out my other hard drive, that booted up onto Windows 10. This is the original one back in here because that wasn't the problem. It booted up and started installing drivers because that one only had Windows 10 on it. Same thing, black again. Put this one back in. Now when I turn it on, there's nothing on the monitor. There you can see that's my monitor. That's my monitor for my other shitty PC over there that I've been using for school and whatnot. So yeah, I honestly don't know what the problem is. It's definitely not the monitor. That monitor's 4-5 months old at the most. Still works with my PS4. It works with this computer as well. I just have it hooked into the other monitor for now because I was testing out this one. I took out the graphics card just now, which is, oh, you can't really see it, it's late. This is my graphics card, 270X Mini ITX, so it'll fit inside. I have a kind of small case. So I tried running it just straight plugged back into the motherboard. You can't really see that because it's dark, but that doesn't work either. So yeah, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. I've asked a couple friends, and some said it was either the CPU or the power supply. The CPU, honestly, everything in here has been upgraded except for the power supply. But I don't know, it seems to be running fine and everything. I'll turn it off just so you can see how it boots up fine and everything. As you can see, gonna power it on. Does everything fine. I go up to my monitor, mouse power's on, everything, and I'll try to switch it to DVI. No signal, as you can see there. I mean, I can switch it through everything and switch it back around. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just heard it reboot by itself. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I think it just rebooted by itself. So that's never happened before either. So yeah, I'm really confused on what's happening. I don't know. Also, just as a side note, I've removed the RAM and just made sure it was seated. I didn't think that had anything to do with it, but just in case. And while the computer was still working, it recognized that the CPU or RAM had been changed because it came up with that message. So I think the motherboard, I don't know. The motherboard's new. The two oldest things in here, which is like a year and a half old, is the power supply and RAM. But everything else is like 6 months or less, so I don't know. If you guys can help me out with any suggestions or what you think it is, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, just as I ended the video, something I wanted to add. This happens sometimes when I was like messing around with it. If I hold down the power button, it doesn't turn off now. So now I gotta manually turn the power switch off. And it seems like whenever I just let it rest for a couple hours or whatever and try to fiddle with it again, which I'm not going to after this until I, get some responses and see what some possibilities that are wrong with it are, won't turn off from the power button, so I don't know. But yeah, I thought I'd just add that on in case it was important.